Yeah.
Deepak, you have been very much involved in the support topic. I remember a few years ago you were a co-author for a paper that talked about support to advocacy, and that was earlier when the cloud journey, customers were starting to go on their cloud journeys. Fast forward a few years from now, we are talking about another paper that you're co-authoring now. That will be that soft launch today, that talks about support-led growth, how support-led growth can be a driver into support transformation. Would you talk a little bit about how that strategy is evolved and what you have seen and what is support-led growth?
Yeah, absolutely. Happy to. Thanks for that. So I would say, going back in time a little bit, right? Usually support in the old days was, I've got a problem, somebody's going to call, and customers understood that they have to work with support, it's going to take a little bit pain and do it. When cloud came, the whole thing changed overnight. In cloud, the customers were like, I expect everything to work when I log in. So the whole responsibility shifted to the vendor. And then the other thing that happened at the cloud time was like, that's when the clients or the customers will tell you anything because they need the problem to be solved. And you can actually create advocacy. So that's where the support to advocacy started. It's like, hey, I'm getting somebody to call me and they are trusting me, they're going to tell me everything, and I can actually create more stickiness with them. So that was support to advocate. Fast forward to today with AI, Gen AI, kind of the fourth generation of AI coming out. What is happening is that now support can actually drive growth. It's not just advocacy. So support-led growth is, I have the trust with you, I fully understand what you have, and I can actually become your AI buddy. And in this case, AI is not artificial intelligence, but adoption and innovation buddy. So that's where support-led growth kind of starts fitting into the model from where we started before.
That's amazing. It's the personalized, seamless customer experience that we talk about, right?
Correct.
That can drive not just solving the problem, but also be a revenue driver.
Revenue driver, and if you think about it, it used to be the 4 Ps of marketing, but now you have the 4 Ps of support, and you can probably talk more about those, but you've got your proactive, you've got your prescriptive, you've got your predictive, and then the preventative is kind of where we are going.
So it's truly shifting to the left, which means we're even finding problems even before they happen from upstream from the root cause, right?
And that's the whole point of SLG, right? Support-led growth is, before it was, hey, I've got a problem, can you help me? Then it became, how quickly can you resolve it? Then it became preventative maintenance, for example. I can tell you in advance when the machine is going to break down. And now it is, hey, guess what? On Monday morning, I'm calling you and telling you, you were going to have this problem. I've already solved it for you. Let's talk about what we can innovate, right? That's where the kind of adoption and innovation buddy thinking comes in with SLG to do it.
Absolutely, and I think AI has given us the capability with the data and with the AI models and the AI insights to be able to make those kind of decisions where we can be not only be preventative but also make actions which can avoid those kind of
Absolutely. I mean, there were some other things we were discussing this morning, like other people were mentioning, like you need to kind of radically decustomize your stack and architecture. You need to focus on storytelling and decision making. All of those things require data, and then the data comes in with the support. Support is the one organization that has full visibility into the data and the challenges with the data as well. And so when you think about support-led growth, it's like, hey, I've got your data, I've got your trust, you're working hand in hand with me, I am deep in the trenches with you. From there, you can figure out the innovation, you can figure out the adoption, you can figure out the roadmap. So that's why I think support-led growth will be kind of the next wave or the next frontier for it.
I heard this recently, and which I thought I'll share. AI is the new UI, data is the new currency, and I think that is going to help take the data that we have in support and drive towards the support-led growth. I mean, that truly is going to be the new frontier of radical support transformation, I believe.
It will be, and also if you think about it, like, so you are saying, AI is the new UI. The thing in the AI world is, it's become, start with the business problem first, right? It's not about tech-led, it's business outcome-led, tech-driven. It's driven by a lot of technology. And in that, a lot of companies were focusing on unlocking business value. But I think when you think about SLG, it's not just that, it's actually BHV, unlocking business and human value.
Okay.
Because that's where the insight and the expertise, the intuition, the gut, whatever we call it, of the experienced support professional will come into play.
Yeah.
So it'll become more like, how do we unlock BHV? And as support does that, it'll not only drive advocacy, but it'll also drive more revenue and more stickiness and growth from there.
Absolutely. And I think the human in the loop aspect of what you just said about the business human value is very key, because as we kind of jump this AI wave, there is a skepticism in people's mind that AI is going to take their jobs away. I think it's not going to do that. It's more actually adding the human value, and is going to make them more efficient and add more value from that perspective. Would you like to add something on that? Or
yeah, I would add. I'll give one example. It's not support driven, but kind of. We are working with someone where they started using AI in their contact center for email responses. And most of that, what we found as a side benefit, thinking about unlocking human value, is yes, it automated it. Agents can do more emails per hour and all that. But the one thing that changed was, before, the agents had to read every email, then think about the response, then consult a lot of manuals, and then do the response. Now, they didn't have to read that email, so they were not reading the nastiness anymore. The AI was parsing it out and saying, okay, this happened and the customer said this and the customer said that. So they got the data, but they didn't get that emotion. And that made them happier in their job. So the talent retention in the contact center went up. So taking that example, I think what will happen is, AI is not going to take your job, but if you don't adopt AI, if you don't embrace it and learn about it, somebody who's using AI could probably take your job. So I think we have to first of all embrace it, adopt it, and then think about, I think a lot of the jobs will get reframed. Like even my job, what I do as a chief client officer, I use a lot of AI in my job now. It's reframed, but then the time that's coming up gets used to do more productive things and more value added things, before which I didn't have the bandwidth for. And I think that will happen at every role, every level to do, which is like, that's the unlocking of human value with AI. Versus the fact that, oh, AI is going to take my job. I think that's a little bit of a misnomer. The job will change, the job will shift, and you'll have a different way to think about what you do.
So more high value work, support-led growth, helping the top line, and then you're able to, even powered by AI, also able to help your organization with employee retention, better balanced life, right?
Yeah, and one thing we didn't talk about, but I'll bring it up, is like, when you think of support-led growth, there are like 5 things in it. So you need your bold vision, where I want to take support. I want to unlock business and human value. You need your data foundation, as you and I have talked so many times. Without data, nothing comes. And then on that data ring, you need to make sure that you have the right KPIs, because your metrics will change. Then you need to select the right systems that fit into your support tech stack, how you're going to do it. And then you finally need to rechange the support engineer, support person's job. They become more like, and you'll see this in our paper, we call it the choice architects. So now they can activate the agents, they can activate data, they can get the insights, they can be prescriptive and predictive. They can really then change it from, hey, Mr. Customer, we've already solved the problem, that you'll never see. And so now let's talk about what we can do together, which is basically your growth aspect of it then.
Very good.
All right.
Thank you so much, Deepak.
Always a pleasure, man. Good to see you again and happy to be here.
Thank you.